So how crucial is that win tonight for each of these candidates as we spin forward beyond Pennsylvania, which is what Connell just talked about? I'm joined now by Democratic strategist Christy Setzer and Republican strategist Adam Goodman. Thanks to both of you. Look, they all need Wisconsin, but who needs it most? Right. Adam, to you first.
Well, I think right now you move from message and messenger, Liz, to expectations and momentum. The expectations in the last week are that Ted Cruz will win Wisconsin over Donald Trump. If he does not, the forces trying to stop Trump, I think, are in for a heap of trouble. I think he becomes a bullet train that no one's going to stop. So you may say the advantage is to Donald because the expectations are low. But I think in terms of Ted Cruz, who I think turned Camp Randall into Camp Cruz overnight up in Wisconsin, this is a must-win state. And even then, we go to New York next, where Donald gets to seek safe harbor in a very friendly place where the latest polls have him up by over 30 points, and the Northeast generally.
For GOP voters.
Right, exactly. So let's say tonight is critical for Trump if he's to be inexorable. It's critical for Cruz if he's to be a factor in trying to stop this bullet train.
Christy, before I get you on the Democrats, is it over for Cruz if he loses tonight?
No, of course it's not over. He certainly has a plausible path, not necessarily to win the nomination outright, but a plausible argument to make in terms of a contested convention. So I think that, even if he loses by a couple of points in Wisconsin tonight, then he certainly still has the argument that he can keep going on and keep bringing his supporters. Whereas for Trump, I mean, the biggest reason that he wants to have a win tonight actually has nothing to do with the delegates, but actually has much more to do with stopping the bad headlines that we've seen out of his camp in the last week. I think he just really needs sort of a momentum game changer in that way.
Well, to the Democrats, though, let's get your thought on that, and then I want to bring up John Kasich to both of you.
Sure. For the Democrats tonight, I pretty much expect that Bernie Sanders is going to have a fairly comfortable win here tonight. I think the Clinton campaign believes that as well, and that's why you've seen them tamping down expectations in terms of talking about the demographics of Wisconsin by saying, look, it's a fairly white state. He's tended to do better in those places, minimizing his ability to win or to do well in other states that have been a little bit more diverse, and then saying, look, the math is the math. At this point, Hillary Clinton only needs to win something like 1/3 of the remaining delegates to secure the nomination. She can obviously do that with her eyes closed. So yeah, I think Sanders is going to win tonight. I'm not sure that it matters that much.
Well, now we spin it forward, and you've got California, which is a huge event, but here you have the Democratic presidential race scorecard, and we could even show the Republican scorecard, but I'd rather show this. We have Barron's from this weekend. Barron's pinning John. They had been endorsing Hillary Clinton. Now they're going with John Kasich. They say he's the best for people's money, the best for the markets, and that he's the guy who can beat Hillary Clinton. So, Adam, what happens at the convention come Cleveland?
I'll tell you one thing. There'll be a lot of people tuning into this particular convention. I think the ratings will be through the roof, and all bets are off. But I think I'm going to give you my theory about this convention, which is if Donald Trump ends up short of 1273, which I think is very possible, and Cruz isn't there either, the expectation is it goes to a second, third, fourth ballot, and maybe an establishment choice like John Kasich or somebody else will emerge. Here's my theory about that. You're dealing with Donald Trump, who is by reputation a deal maker. My hunch is that if that looks like how it's going to play, that Donald Trump is going to find a way to try to cobble together a deal, even with someone like Ted Cruz. And I think this whole talk about a contested convention may actually be a restful convention before it's all said and done.
Or maybe a deal with John Kasich. We got to go, but if he gets Florida from his side and John Kasich with Ohio, there you have an opportunity. Great to see both of you. Christy and Adam, thank you very much.